Hello, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Geeks Are Wired. This is number 335, and I scrolled down on my notes, so I can't actually see it anymore. No, never mind, it's there. On this podcast, we talk about video games, movies, TV, comic books, technology, and, you know, TDLR, the Internet of Things. You can contact us at geeksarewired@gmail.com, or you may call us at 801-896-4335,
or
which the 4335...
896 Geek.
Yeah. Okay. You can also donate to us on Patreon. And if you give us any kind of donation, you get access to the Discord group. And you can talk to us and have all the fun that we always have. And we have a $40... We have a sponsor.
Well, we have a supporter.
We have a supporter.
Who doesn't want in the sponsor tier. Who doesn't care. So we are sponsoring him as in saying Dave is great.
Yep.
You can join him if you feel like it. Also, we have other tiers. Well, you know, you don't have to go 40. You know, just any money really does help us.
Mm-hmm.
But you also can get access to the podcast early.
Yes, that is one of the tiers.
Yes. And we're working on watching live recording.
That'll be interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll have to actually look presentable.
Nah.
Today we do have three of our hosts, and we have Anthony.
Hi.
And
It's
Anna.
me.
Hi.
And Bill.
Bill.
Yay.
Hi, Bill. Hi, Anna.
Hey, Anthony.
So, we have sorted through the interwebs and decided on a few stories, and see what you guys think about everything. So our first story is, we're going to start with CES. It's been happening this week. And the mobile providers are absolutely loving the idea of 5G. First off, they're all already trying to say things about their 5G and making fake stuff. Like AT&T's been going that they have 5GE, which is 4G. LTE. And
it's a little faster.
5GE?
It's a little faster.
It is it is 4G LTE. They nothing different.
I thought they provided a little bit of like a boost.
They do have a 5G. The 5GE is not.
Oh, I know.
They're lying about
I know.
that.
I know it's not 5G. It's like how whenever they were, so it is 4G, but it's, from what my understanding was, it's the same thing that they did with 4G back whenever 4G was becoming a thing. Certain phones they had certain features on them to where they could get just a little bit faster, like just the smallest amount. I think it's still shady. I don't like it.
Yeah.
But
Oh no, and they don't show 4G on them anymore. Yeah, the upgrade
I know
they released.
This says 5G.
Yeah,
This is
4G anymore.
It says 5GE, doesn't it?
5GE.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and T-Mobile actually poked fun at them for that.
Oh, everyone
did, yeah.
poked fun of them. The only thing is that's going to be, they're all going to do it eventually because they all did it with 4G.
Yeah.
But the other stuff with 5G, they're coming out. There's 5G available in a couple cities, and what is the great thing about this is that mobile providers are going to give you a modem that does not need to be plugged into a wall, which then can provide you 5G internet to your house.
As long as it's unlimited, I'm good with that.
There's a couple plans. One is like literally 15 gigs.
Okay.
I think it's AT&T again, but I'm not.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I'm not totally sure. Another one is more unlimited. But so there's a lot of goodness, but there's still 5G is only available in like 5 cities, maybe.
Yeah, we won't get it probably for a couple of years.
It'd be good if it's mobile data then.
It is mobile data.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there's really good with that. Lots of competition. Prices don't seem too terrible for if you can get it. But the good news about that for everybody is your at-home cable and home telephone providers are not going to just get steamrolled on this.
They're not going to get steamrolled?
They're not going to allow it to happen.
I'll believe that when I see it.
So they're rolling out with 10 gigabit cable plans.
When most of them only have like 100 megabyte to 200 megabyte right now.
Well, most modern modems can only support the 1 gig, while the so you'll have to upgrade your modem.
Yeah.
On the other side, though, is if it's fiber, it can support it.
Yeah, if it's fiber, but most cable modems aren't. They're going to be cable, which means it's suspect to the wiring going all the way to your house and all the noise that it gets.
So, Anna, what do you think about this?
So I think that 5G, that would be an interesting concept, but if they don't have enough speed to actually support it, I don't think that that's going to be very good.
Like if they oversubscribe on it?
Yeah, if there's too many people on it, then it's not going to work.
Okay, so that's something else that also mobile providers have been all about, is stating how much they can't support all that. That's why they start charging limits. When in reality, they've been able to support all the users without any issues. So
to a point, whenever the 3G unlimited plans first came out, like when the iPhone came out, I know on AT&T, if you had an iPhone and you had 3G, the network was really slow because people were abusing it. They don't so much now because the
4G is that much better.
Well, there's that, but it's just that the fact that most people, they'll use the Wi-Fi before.
Yeah.
Because it's usually faster and less likely to have problems, but there are small use cases where that's not a thing.
We're also talking about like 4K is out now, and when you talk about 4K and streaming, then that's going to be...
Well, then that's the 5 gig, or 5G is going to be good for that. 10G...
That would be good, but I mean...
10 gigs, I mean.
Where they're capping that off, that's going to be an issue.
Yeah, if the cap is just abysmally slow or small like it is on some ISPs that we have around here, it's not going to be great. Because with the huge fast speeds, you could blow through that in a day.
But that's the other thing, is that they're going to have to start paying attention to that, because if there are limits on these 5 gig or these 5G plans or these 10 gig wired plans, you have options now. You are no longer stuck to the one cable provider that you have in your city anymore.
That's what I will like about this. And I think with the 5G, I think because the frequencies are higher, I think they have to have antennas, like more antennas in a given area. Like I think they've been installing them on top of light poles in cities.
You see, a lot of that stuff's already, in a lot of these places, you know, there's already Wi-Fi in a lot of these places, so installing this stuff is not going to be that bad. I'm not sure about the frequency of having it or the power or any of that.
Well, I think it has to be higher because to support the extra data, but they might use modulation or something to get around that. I don't know. I just thought I heard that.
But it's honestly not a bad idea for coverage.
And then 10G is already in motion, apparently.
No, that's what cable providers are
doing.
They're calling it 10G. Yes.
There was a glare there, by the way.
Oh. You can push the monitor.
No.
Oh,
I mean, a glare. I was telling the listeners that I glared.
Oh, you glared at the idea of 10G.
Yeah. Well, the fact they're calling it 10G. All right. Hey, what was that about AT&T? It was down. Keep going. Right there.
Oh, yeah. That's it. So AT&T...
So 6 gigahertz spectrum. Okay.
Using the 5G. Oh, yeah. So AT&T has it in their 5G in 12 cities. That's the other stuff I was trying to get for. So AT&T has it rolled out. Verizon, they rolled it out late. They started rolling it out late last year.
Verizon?
AT&T.
AT&T. I know Verizon had like the internet service in one city.
Well, they rolled out. Verizon rolled out 5G about mid last year. That's 2018 for everybody.
Yeah.
I know we're in 2019. Still, I've been pretty good at writing it down correctly so far. But everyone's trying, both of them were trying to go like, oh, we're going to have this out at this time. T-Mobile is ridiculously small. I don't think they're pushing along the 5G because they were pushing their 600 bandwidth out for the most part.
T-Mobile?
Yeah, T-Mobile.
Yeah.
Which is good for transmitting and getting through walls and all that. Yes.
And it says the towers with 5GE hardware will be capable of flipping to actual 5G service in the near future.
Yay! So all these 4G towers.
I think that's for
would
AT&T.
upgrade. Yeah. And
So
then
the
naming
5G
standard. I am hating this naming standard everyone's doing. Like, oh, we're 5GE or
which
5G.
is really LTE Advance, 4G LTE Advance.
Yeah, I'm just like, just stick with the names. Oh, 5G Plus. All these others. Just no. Just actually, honestly, I was not a fan of Edge, is what they called 3G, and LTE, which is 4G, which is just call them what they legitimately are, and offer and quit messing around with quit taking up real estate on my phone.
Yeah, I don't know why they called it Edge. I thought Edge was like 2X actually.
When they started rolling after 2G died, 3G became Edge,
Hmm.
and not to be confused with Edge Communications, like we talked about a couple of podcasts ago.
Yeah.
But you have to upgrade your phone to be able to get 5G.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the other thing. Even though you can barely get 5G in the country, CES has already been popping those out, selling us better technology than we can actually use.
I think I read in another article that they have Verizon did a demo with a 5G or a 5G enabled drone. Like I think they were controlling it via 5G, which was interesting. I think they were trying to show off like maybe the low latency. I don't know, because doing that over 4G right now, like it'd probably be fine, but there'd be a lot of latency.
It could be fun.
What is that? No,
More
that.
their tower hardware. The Samsung's. We're scrolling through some of the
That looks like
information about CES
that
because there's still more like this. Verizon's 5G home is basically a giant white trash can that sits on your.
yeah, the back of that modem looked like a fat PS3.
Yeah.
Like the back of it.
AT&T's is a Netgear, looks like a bigger version of a.
Well, that one looks like an actual hotspot. Yeah, it is a hotspot.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So there's all that.
Yeah, that's cool. 5G is the future. I might not be stuck with cable one anymore.
I know.
I
We
can
might
hope.
have that. I love competition. This is how internet should be working because it's going to scream along finally with what we can get.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing is that it's going to, and this is also like I knew wireless was always good idea, just not very great, especially like when they've had the towers on and they point at your, you point your house antenna at it so you can get wireless.
Which is good until weather.
Well, also good until they overload the tower because that's
Mhm.
something else that a company in town does is after you call up complaining about your speeds.
And all they do is switch you to the other tower.
Yeah, and they just basically start switching all their customers to the other towers. Like, why? Really?
Yeah.
Just
They don't have a good way of
learn
Yeah.
to do it.
learn to distribute better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, whatever.
Or maybe give them two antennas to where they can point at both at the same time, and their routers can figure out which one to point at.
Yes.
Do actual load balancing.
That's crazy talk.
Who would have thought?
Well,
I kind of wonder how those companies can work.
because they're good enough, and they also cover.
Well, they're
work
so
prices.
expensive.
They are, but they're good enough. And also, if you don't have a wire range to your house, it is better than good.
Which makes sense, but a lot of the houses that I see these installed on are in places where they have CenturyLink or Cable One.
1.5.
Still,
I know.
it still would be cheaper than going through them and whatever.
I know.
Like you said, good enough.
Mm-hmm. So, also talking about the 4K TVs and all of these. So there's the foldable phones. Now there's going to people are literally rolling out.
Yeah, rolling out TVs.
Full rollable televisions. LG is doing one. You have a box. So the other thing, the idea behind this is the television should probably not be your center point of your living room. You're supposed to have your living room set up the way you want, and so it's more of an enjoyment, more of a social gathering type of thing. And we
Mhm.
have grown to our televisions, especially when they get
Massive.
100 inches large.
Mhm.
I guess this one's 65.
That's how big the one in my living room is.
Yeah, and these things take up a wall of your house for the entire purpose of that and nothing else. So the ability to like move it down. Maybe you have some nice pictures behind it. Maybe you can just you change taking care of this TV changes the setup of your, either room.
I do like that you mentioned this feature earlier. They have a feature that like it can just roll up a tiny bit to just show you like information, or like if there's just music playing, it'll show you the music, like the track list that's playing.
Little scroll bar.
Yeah. I think it's really cool.
In 4K.
I mean,
this
maybe.
one is in 4K.
So you can still get that higher end like video, but still roll it up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, and honestly, I was thinking about the idea of the technology behind this. And I was kind of thinking, okay, one, especially like the foldable phones.
Yeah.
Because especially where we were playing Pokemon against each other. And what do? We tap our phones.
Yeah.
I was thinking foldable phones are probably not the greatest thing to do that with. Because you're talking about, a thin wire or thin... and that's the other reason why I'm kind of like, why didn't we get to this sooner? Because we can fold wires. Your screen is basically electricity passing through.
Yeah.
So it has wires that you can just literally fold, that you can literally see.
Because the reason why they haven't done that is like they've had foldable screens for the last like I think 15 years. It's just one, it was prohibitively expensive, but because of that, like the LCDs themselves I think are pretty flexible. It was the backing that they got put on. The circuit board, the backlight.
Once again, wires bend.
Now that everything's LED, that's one reason why they're able to do this.
So it's kind of better than like back in the day when everybody would put their TVs in a cabinet and just like close it up.
Goodness, yes.
And so all you have is just this big box.
Big box, yeah.
So being able to fold it up, you can actually just hide it away a lot easier.
Yep.
Oh, this like I think when they have it folded up, it just looks like a speaker bar.
Yeah.
Doesn't it have just a separate audio as it is? Like it just folds up just the video like area of the screen.
Yeah, and that's something else though. I'm kind of curious because so many TVs nowadays have the they have the speakers on the back anyways. So I'm kind of like, well, we'll see how this sounds, I guess, or unless they just expect you to have a sound bar. Yeah, so the back of it actually has these bars. It kind of reminds me of...
Well, the bars are just there purely for probably stabilizing purposes.
Yeah, but it almost reminds me of like an up-down curtain blind or curtain blinds.
Yeah. No, this it basically rolls up like one of those garage doors that would be in like
actually, more like
it because it's segmented, and when it's rolling up, it kind of like splits apart at the segment. And then it just rolls up like a mat, kind of. It's cool.
Yeah, and then okay. So it is. It has a one giant front facing speaker. You're right on that. So you won't need a separate. Because that's the one thing I had to buy a sound bar because my TV sounds terrible.
Mine's actually not bad, surprisingly, but that doesn't matter at this point.
And it will have.
Madame A.
And Google.
And the Google Assistant.
In LG's WebOS software. So that's along with that, Amazon's been pushing out their stuff, while Google has like a quarter of CES.
Ooh.
They just, Google owns like, maybe it might not be a quarter of CES, but they own a ridiculous amount of CES. And basically they said Google Assistant is going to be on everything.
So this will also, I think if I'm reading this right, it also has Apple's AirPlay on it.
Yes.
Which is nice. Because I love using the AirPlay.
Which is other news. If you bought your iTunes, if you want to get into Apple TV and you don't want to buy your Apple product, or you haven't owned an Apple product since the iPod, and your iPod's kind of getting there in its age, or you don't want to invest, what is it, $150 for the Apple TV?
For the 4K one, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is what you need to get into the Home Assistant.
And there's that, and some of these are starting to have some of that too. You can now start, Samsung and
HomeKit,
LG.
I mean.
Yeah, Samsung and LG and a couple others are starting to be able to do iTunes and Apple TV, and the Echoes, Amazon's Echoes are starting to have iTunes with it too, so you can listen to your iTunes through all these devices. Apple basically has realized that their prices are expensive, and if they want to be in this market, they need to be able to be available on more things.
I'm kind of wondering how many HDMI ports are on this, because I've been noticing most TVs only have like 2, which is really aggravating to me.
Well, let's look. It has. Of course, I had to,
you might have to
click on it.
click on the image and then zoom in on it. Or yeah, do that and then zoom in on it.
Yeah.
Looks like they have.
Oop.
You.
I screwed it up. I had one job and I screwed it up.
Looks like they have 4.
Yes.
That's nice.
And apparently it is. Was it? It's a HDMI 2.1.
Yeah, 2.1, which I'm not sure what that means, but
The newer, better version. Probably 4K support, all that jazz, and a bag of chips with it.
maybe it has 8K support.
No, this one was only 4K.
I know, but maybe
so along with that, with our internet, Anna, you were talking about 4K earlier.
Yes.
Well, Samsung is coming out with 8K.
yeah.
I just saw that.
Yes, and so here's the great thing. So there's there has become a lot of good products in 4K nowadays, right?
Yep.
How much is in 8K right now?
Nothing.
Yes, absolutely nothing. Samsung says from this point on, everything they are going to make and produce is going to be in 8K.
Okay.
They are making sure that the TVs will be ready for it.
It's still kind of funny to me though, because like TVs, like television stations and satellites are still in like 1080i. They're not pushing.
I still run into some that are like in 720 or
Which
420.
is
or no,
fine.
780 or 420?
Huh?
780 and 420? Is that right?
If you want 720p, there's also 480p.
Yeah, I've still seen 480.
Yeah. 480 is still pretty common.
So
So
you said 1080i?
yeah, 1080i. That means it's like sports broadcasts will use that because it gives you the resolution, but at half the bandwidth because it's interlaced, so it's 30 frames instead of 60 frames a second.
Okay, and what that basically means is that there's the lines.
It means it's basically like
Okay,
draws half the image first, and then it draws the second half the second time through.
Yeah, so
Your eyes, if you could see each frame every time it went up, you'd see black spaces in between there. But because your eyes can't see that fast, it kind of blurs them together when it comes to your.
It's kind of like those images when you move back and forth and you see.
It's like a flip book.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of rolls down the screen as it kind of like projects it.
Well, it not just rolls down the screen, but it's on every other line.
Yeah.
So with eye,
Right.
while 1080p is progressive, it hits all the lines.
It hits all the
at
lines
the
at
same
once.
time, but it requires way better stuff.
So with 1080i, you only have to broadcast half the image. Like your resolution's half of what it would be if it was 1080p.
At least they've kind of updated and changed a lot of things that are being broadcasted from analog to digital. So that's an improvement.
I actually didn't see this.
What?
Oh, I don't know why I clicked on that. I didn't want the video. Oh, no, I did want that. Samsung's 98-inch QLED 8K television.
Hey, you should let's look at this video, and you should do the thing where we fast forward.
We do magic?
Yeah, we do magic.
Okay, and actually with that, Captain Bangles is back this week. So we're going to listen to Captain Bangles in addition, and then we're coming back and talking about a 98-inch, almost 2 inches shy of 100-inch television, the reason we should roll things up.
And it's QLED, which is a thing, by the way.
Hello, this is James, Captain Bangles Comic Cove, here to give you some ideas of what to pull on January 16th, 2019. There is a Director's Cut for Black Hammer Issue 1 coming out January 16th. And if you have not read this series, it would be a great idea to check out the series because there are rumors of a big crossover with DC coming soon. The series is about a group of superheroes that harken back more to Golden Age styles of comics. So like your Shazams, your Superman-style characters, your Batman-style characters. Well, they get into this battle, win a battle, but get stuck in a town for 10 years. And they can't leave the town no matter how much they try. And it's about their lives after 10 years being stuck in a podunk farm town. Won the Eisner Award the year it came out, and I really do recommend checking out. It's by Jeff Lemire and Dean Orspin. Another thing to check out would be Invaders #1 from Chip Zdarsky. Chip Zdarsky is one of my favorite Marvel writers currently. He was also one of my favorite independent artists, if you don't know his work on Sex Criminals from Image. His latest book is Invaders 1, and it's going to go over Captain America, Torch, Winter Soldier, and Namor. They fought originally back in World War II together. Now it's their current battles together. But Namor is currently not on the side of good. So, interesting things might be a brew, this title. Who knows, we might go through a redemption of Namor. And finally, the last book I'm going to recommend for you guys to check out is Fantastic Four #6. With issue 5, spoiler alert, the Thing got married. And this is going to be, this issue 6 is going to be the start of a new story arc, where Galactus returning to devour the Earth, but the only person who can save him is Doctor Doom. What are Reed Richards and his family doing? The cover looks great, and it's been a great book thus far. Definitely drop what you're doing and check it out. And again, this is James from Captain Bagels Comic Co. 348 North 3rd. Stop by any time here in Pocatello, Idaho.
We're back.
And I wanted to explain one thing about HDMI 2.1. So HDMI 2.0 is 18 gigabytes per second, and HDMI 2.1 is 48 gigabytes per second, which can carry up to 10K resolution and have frame rates up to 120 frames a second at 10K. But in order to get that, you need new cables. And CNET apparently thought that no TVs would be supporting 2.1 this year, but at CES?
Yes, CES.
At CES, but so far, like almost every single TV they're showcasing has support for it. So it's just kind of funny to me. Anyways, back to the big TV.
Well, let's do the roll-up.
Oh, you want to do the roll-up?
Yeah,
okay.
you're gonna. We found its price tag. We actually looked at it a few times.
It's called the Wallpaper TV
from LG.
From LG, and it is $8,000.
$8,000.
$8,000. So I probably wouldn't recommend buying the first iteration of this, unless you just are hemorrhaging money. Which, if you can, go for it.
Oh come on! I remember when plasmas were $25,000.
That's a technology that's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, we've further. In fact, onto the Samsung one, like we said, QLED, which is quantum LEDs.
Yeah.
They provide better pictures.
It says how quantum dots act almost like a filter that produces purer light than LEDs alone can provide. It's complicated, but you can learn all the science behind QLED in a different article.
Or on a different podcast.
Yeah.
It's new technology. You basically can point lights at it. It works really well. The brights are brighter and the darks are darker.
That's how they do that. Okay. So I think what this means is, like, instead of the liquid crystals being just like normal liquid crystal stuff, they might actually have like a pigment in it that reacts to light behind it.
Yes.
Which is kind of what, like in this video there, or this GIF, they're basically shining a light on it, and when they shine a light on it, it becomes vibrant. Which explains why the colors are more vibrant.
That does.
So, that's cool.
It sounds fun. Basically, you get a better picture, and
you get colors to pop more without sacrificing contrast, I guess, kind of.
And you also can get more in with, so you can get them also smaller together.
Sacrificing or getting more contrast? I can't remember which way contrast works. Is more contrast better?
I actually try not to mess with my TV
Okay.
settings. So I usually go through and look
I
at
don't
it. Like,
remember enough.
but the other thing also about this is why also they are using that for 8K, is because you can get more of them, more pixels per square inch.
Who doesn't want more pixels or like more colorful pictures?
I don't know. I walked up to my 4K TV. I can't really like. I can kind of tell the pixels are there, but
Well, there's 4,000 of them
I
per
can
square
imagine
inch.
like 8K is going to be like Retina.
8,000 per square inch.
Think of that, and then like the size of that TV that we were talking about earlier.
No, that's what it is, the 98.
The 98-inch one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Samsung's.
Yeah, you might. I still think that might encroach like Retina level. Like you can probably still see the individual pixels if you were like 2 feet away from it, or maybe a foot away from it. Like,
You know how big a wall or like area that would be covering in your living room or wherever you put that TV?
I literally do not have room for that.
it might fit on your wall here.
If it's on the biggest wall that's here.
The podcast wall. But I have to take down my Star Wars Episode 1 poster there.
It'll be worth it.
Oh, actually, it might work for the here. So, listeners, remember we said we had Patreon. Well, we need to, support the crystal awesome image that you guys get to watch us live on.
Yeah, instead of a green screen, we'll just have an actual TV behind us.
Yes, which is during the demo, Anthony thought that the TV was
Was a green screen,
yeah,
or not a green screen, but like a one of those like
Projector.
show,
yeah.
either a projector or those show TVs that are just like either multiple TVs put together or like a LED panel or something. I'm gonna measure your wall real quick. You guys
Okay.
keep talking.
All right. Well, we can always start. Jeez, I can't imagine putting this TV that big.
That would be huge. And I'm not sure once Anthony actually gets that measured in.
This isn't
if
even the
you're-
biggest TV that has been at CES. They have crossed the 100-inch before. And that's some of the stuff they've actually done is they put like 4 TVs together.
Yeah, but when they crossed the 100-inch before, it was just like it wasn't an LCD panel. It was usually the projection displays, wasn't it?
No, they were 4. Last time that I paid attention to it, let's go with that. They
Okay.
were 4 1080s put together.
Okay, yeah, but it wasn't like an actual TV.
No, it wasn't like no, they had like they put 4 1080
Like the panels.
the panels
Okay.
into a giant TV. It's like, why can't I think of this word?
So
Yeah.
that would be 4K, like literally.
Yeah, that's what they were arguing too. It's kind of like the technicality of the 5G. It's like, yes, you are 4G. No, you're not.
What's really nice about the foldable TV though is that like it would be a really easy way to actually move it into your house because it's folded. But I mean, if it's like that big, 98 inches, it would actually make it really easy to move in and move out. So it would be really portable.
So it looks like the largest screen came in at 110 inches back at CES back in 2013.
That's a pretty big screen.
Yes.
And that's just one single screen, right?
Well, like I said, I think they did the same stuff that I was talking about, where they split up the screens. They split the panels. on
So,
it. So
yeah.
it was still one giant TV, but it was doing some hokey things, and the thing never made it to market. Obviously,
No,
for-
because that would.
For a single screen, though, the roll-up screens would actually be a lot better than just having separate screens put
Okay.
together.
Egad.
well, that was the 80. So that year they rolled out an 85-inch that was $40,000.
That's a pretty pricey TV.
On a
that's-
TV that's bigger than a king size bed. What?
That's 5 times more than the
Okay,
roll-up
it
TV.
might not fit in this room.
Ah, good. I don't want it in this room. That's
What?
so ridiculous, though.
Can't you imagine just gaming on that though? Like
That
it'd
wall
be
is-
like VR almost.
That wall is. If I could do VR, for $40,000, I could have the greatest VR setup. Heck, I could have an entire house built or entire room built for the VR.
You could, yeah. Well, you could have like a little, like a shed that you buy for, like 20 or 10,000 that you fit for VR. Yeah,
Yeah.
could be air conditioned and have those movable floors.
Yep.
Yeah, you could.
I look like Ready Player One.
Yeah, It's kind of what I was thinking of. There's a book here for Ready Player One.
Yeah. Anthony hasn't read the book.
No, I'm a loser.
Meh.
Apparently.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So, moving on.
TP-Link's Do Everything light switch. It's a smart light switch that does it all. Has a go back up. Has a voice assistant, motion sensor, night light, and it can be an intercom if you have multiples in your house.
Does it have Google?
I don't know. Let's go down.
Like I said, Google is planning on being on everything. It will have
Built-in
Amazon?
voice assistant with its own. So it has Amazon or Google Assistant. They implied that it would be that.
Well, Google's been pushing on everything, so I expect at least that. Amazon is possible, but that's the thing is Google's also trying to, by pushing on everything, they're like, we don't need to be like ridiculous like Amazon's been doing, but we will always be there and we will always be working on improvement.
Yeah.
I'm like, I still think you should have been a little bit faster to this game.
It will also play music. You have a light switch that plays music.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's a motion sensor, which you can use to turn on and off the lights without even asking, which is amazing.
I admit, I was looking at some of that on getting like some if statement or if this and that stuff for certain rooms, like your
Okay, yeah,
your closet or your laundry room or something like that.
I'll back up on this, saying that it would be awesome, but if I put this in my room and it's 2 a.m. and I get up, I do not want it to come on at 100%. 5% would be nice. So if you can have like logic that says, hey, if it's after like 12, turn the lights on to like 5% if you detect motion.
Well, see, that's the other fun thing about is, wow, those are not terrible. They usually stuff. That's what I was looking at, is setting up logic. So you set a motion detector in like the bathroom, and you wander into the bathroom, and the lights turn on at like 5% or 10%. So it's like enough light that you can see what you're doing, but not too much to like I'm blind. So, they're talking about a lot of smart outlets like
they're releasing a lot of stuff. They got cameras.
Is this? So this is TP-Link's Casa line then?
Yeah, it is.
Because so that's the other thing is TP-Link makes some products, and then they also make a Casa smart device line. The other thing I still have to go with, I really do like my hub. I really like that my hub does not use I can attach things that do not use my Wi-Fi.
Yeah, but then you can have a voice assistant in them or play music.
That's what Bixby's for.
No.
Which is getting Google anyways. Yeah, Bixby's actually, that's another one that Google's entering into.
Yeah.
Bixby. Which, if you don't know what Bixby is, that's Samsung Smart Assistant. If you have a Samsung phone, it is the thing.
What's the trigger word for Bixby?
You hate. I don't know. Hey, Anna, you have a Samsung phone. What's the trigger word for Bixby that you already turned off?
I don't know the trigger word, but there is a certain button that I hate pressing every time.
Oh, you didn't turn it off yet?
Oh, I turned it off, but there's times where it seems like it turns back on.
Yeah.
They want you to use it.
Honestly, is it my LG? See which button is it? Is it that one? Yep. Okay. So I have volume on one side. I have the power on the other side, and then below the power is my assistant button.
Oh.
I definitely turned that off.
Yeah, like having an assistant button in it would be awesome.
Physical assistant button on the side?
Not on the side. In practice or in theory, it sounds like it'd be nice. Like instead of having to go like, hey, trigger word here, just pressing a button and just talking to it, that's fine. The way that Apple kind of got around it, and I don't know if they still support it, but when Siri first came out, you could just put it up to your ear like you were taking a call, and then you'd hear the trigger noise, and then you just talk to it.
Yes,
I think that's a good compromise.
They are doing that, and they are doing that. They did that with the watch. Actually, you have it. Did you get that?
They do. It's kind of suspect. It doesn't work all the time.
Yeah,
See, it triggered now, but it doesn't always work.
And that's what I've heard is that it does not falsely trigger. It might not trigger all the time.
Yeah.
But it does not trigger falsely.
No, but if I hold in on the button, it'll trigger.
Yeah.
And it's on your wrist. And if you go like this because you're on the ground like trying to pick up something, it'll trigger.
Doing push-ups because you're tracking your fitness.
Yeah. So there are some downsides to certain things, but I think you can disable that.
Hey, it takes 2K HDR video. That's not terrible either.
One of them does. They have 2
Yeah.
devices on here.
They actually have quite a few. I should probably, yeah. So,
There's a lot of stuff here.
yeah, they're putting up. They're not terrible. I mean, and also a lot of the stuff works with. If you ended up getting any of the assistants, a lot of it works with those assistants just fine. I got my smart plug.
Mm-hmm.
I plugged it in. I
Mhm.
used it. I uninstalled the app because that's the other thing I also don't like about the assistants or about not going through the
Not going
hub.
through a hub because it's on your Wi-Fi network.
Well, it's not only is it on my Wi-Fi network, wasting my Wi-Fi and on the same bandwidth and everything when I want something on a different bandwidth so nothing collides as often. I also want one app. If I need to have an app, I want one. And it's annoying to have so many.
Yeah, I have an app for the Hue, an app for the Lotron. I can't remember.
Lutron?
Yeah. I have an app for SmartThings. Like, I think I have 3 or 4 hubs in my system right now. Because each one of them requires... Well, I think I can get rid of the Philips Hue one because I could use the SmartThings.
Nice.
But I
think
I
you
like
lose
I like the hub.
a few features if you end up getting rid of.
Yeah, but one thing I kind of find interesting about this is one of the smart doorbell, which is the...
Okay, I'll go with that. Oh, that's the 2K video.
Yeah, so it can do 2 free days of voice or video recording at a time, which, whatever. I would rather it not do that, but it also has facial recognition.
Which Google has.
If you, after a while, if it sees certain faces, it can fire off pre-recorded messages and turn on certain lights in your home.
Okay.
If it sees you. I'm not...
Well, once again, though, I like the idea of... So it must work with my stuff. So this is one of those, another group that they want you to invest in. Are you into TP-Link Casa? Are you into Google? Or are you into Amazon?
Yeah.
And it's like, I just... Because that's the other thing about the doorbells. I want a doorbell that will work with, I guess, what I have. Or what I want it to work with.
It's nice to pre-program and customize the way that you want it to work. Because then it can turn on and off as you need to. But also it looks like they have a night light setting as well.
On the light switches?
Yeah, on the light switches.
There you go.
So
Which
that's pretty nice.
Would be kind of nice. But I'm sure it requires a neutral wire, so I will not be installing one of these.
Or people that have older houses.
Older houses, yeah. Which is why I was on the cassette wire things, which have been very terrible lately.
I have an old house too, but I don't think that it would integrate very well with it.
No, usually with the old light switches, they had basically, the power was wired up to the light itself instead, and then you had basically 2 wires that ran down to your light switch, and then your light switch just severs the connection. And if it can round trip back, then you get power. If it doesn't, then you don't get power.
Yeah. Oh, you can always get the Casa Smart Power Strip.
Look for the word neutral.
Oh, you want me to...
Because it said down here that he confused something with the neutral line.
Those are the only 2 neutral.
Oh, well, never mind. Then he must have edited it out.
Switch.
Or they. I don't know if this is a... Let's just go they. Because I don't know who edited this.
Yeah.
It's on The Verge.
Darn it,
The
Verge.
Verge.
Yeah, we're looking. We jumped to websites because I was looking up for Anthony all the smart physical plugs.
Yeah, I still don't have I can't think of a use case for these.
The physical plugs?
Yeah,
I want them. I want them all in my house. Them and light switches.
For a lamp, it makes sense. I can't think of another... the things that I want to have turn on automatically, I want my humidifier that I have in my room to turn on automatically, I still have to be there to press the button.
Yeah.
I can give it power, but it won't actually do anything. I can have it turn off automatically, which would be kind of nice, but...
You have a percolator, which is nice. It's basically, if you have less smart appliances, that is nice.
And they have a physical switch that if it's on all the time.
Or if it's plugged in, it's on.
Yeah, if it just turns on when it plugs in.
one of the
Which
other
not a lot of stuff
reasons
does.
is that I absolutely would love this idea is fire prevention. As soon as your smoke alarm goes off, if you're not home,
Mm-hmm.
there's a chance that it's because an electrical issue. Something in your house is old and started fire.
Even after that, though, like you cut the power to it, it's still going to burn.
It may burn, but it may not burn as fast because you
Yeah.
now cut the starter of it.
That's a good point.
It may smother itself out. It may be just fine. It may slow it down enough so your house doesn't burn down.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So there's stuff like that. I got lucky one day because I had a cool-looking thing and I started smelling smoke and I was like, what the? Literally something had popped and it started trying to catch itself on fire.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And your breaker didn't trip or anything?
Nope.
Usually,
It was plugged into the same plug as my fridge.
usually whenever the power, like there's a short like that, it'll draw away too many amps, and so it'll trigger your
Yeah.
breaker. You
That'd
might want to
be
get your
nice.
breaker looked at.
Yeah, I've installed new plugs though too.
No.
Do you guys know if that's set up with like a surge protector type thing as far
Like
as
if
that
it's-
outlet?
If it includes a surge protector?
Yeah,
this
if
one?
I don't know.
it's-
No, this is
Probably not.
That's something else I was looking to because it has the two buttons on the front that looks like it is for.
like a GFCI outlet with the reset.
This does not. The two buttons on the front are to connect to your device. That's what I was looking at. So there's a smart outlet, the control button. Press to turn on or off the corresponding outlet so you can. It's physical, and then the other one is actually a light to say whether it's connected or whether there's issues. Which I really hope this is like the LG light switches, which means you can just turn off the light. Because I'll admit, it's nice to. I have it where it gives me a light when it's off,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm like for outdoor lights or stuff like that. I see the switch, but I don't see the light. It's or whatever. That's nice. Beyond that, I don't want these little lights throughout my house. When I want my house dark, I want it dark.
Yeah. Makes sense. But this one doesn't require a hub. It's Wi-Fi.
Yes. Well, that's all of TP-Link's does that. You can get TP-Link stuff to some of them to hook up to certain hubs, whether they're homemade hubs or they're Samsung SmartThings hubs. The homemade ones definitely a lot easier, but when I also say easier, you're also quite a bit more over the top just for having a homemade hub.
Mm-hmm.
Samsung SmartThings, it doesn't just connect. You need to kind of go through some stuff, but there's plenty of things through there. I still haven't hooked up my plug yet because I haven't played around with it enough. But there's options, and it's
Mhm.
not for all of them. It's for some at this moment. And I'm sure where these things are new, they're not part of the sum. They might be. There might be people who've already prepped up a lot of stuff. But yeah, I should probably put that in the show notes too.
Mm-hmm.
Along with
Yeah. I don't know a whole lot about this. I just thought it was interesting.
all right, so we'll go with the
Yeah.
simple stuff.
So the Plex plan, Plex, which is a media it's a home media server, but they've been branching out into podcasts, and I think they offer some albums on there now. But they plan to offer ad-supported movies and more premium subscriptions, which because most people use Plex to stream home stuff, like stuff they have on their server, on a server at home or a computer at home. This isn't like they're gonna somehow get these movies shadily and get money off of them. I think from what I understood in this, it's like they're gonna go out to distributors
This is a direct competition against Roku, the Roku channel,
Yeah,
and Amazon Prime Video channels.
Yeah. So, and I think since they say ad supported, it kind of sounds like you can just watch it without paying.
If you own a Roku, you get quite a bit of Roku's channels
Mhm.
for free.
Yeah.
So also this will mean it's also going to try to compete against what Amazon's new thing we talked about previously, where they were going to have ad-supported premium channels.
So are they meaning that they'll have commercials with the shows?
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that, and
Mhm.
then so you can get it free without
You can
Mhm.
without it if you go premium.
yes.
Yeah.
Or the Plex Pass subscription.
That'd be kind of cool. Like if I get shows now because I have a Plex Pass, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Be like,
did you get one of those grandfathered in like for life things?
well, you can buy them for life still. It's
Oh.
just they're like $120, but periodically they come out with cheaper plans.
Honestly, to pay $120 to get premium channels with commercial
Yeah,
free
I
for
think
life, that is the absolute hands down best option.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking they won't. They'll either up the price on that, or they just won't offer them anymore after a little while. Just because I don't think that's a sustainable business model. If they're going to start adding premium content.
And I'm also kind of curious what's going to happen with yours, because there could be Plex Premium, Plex Pass Premium, and then Plex Pass. We're really premium now.
Mhm. Like you got like premium and then gilded premium,
Yeah.
or sapphire, or
There's
gold.
There's premium, and then there's, man, you old, and we're not going to support you anymore.
Mhm. Like I think when Plex Pass first came out, it was like $60, just hands down, and that was it. Which, if I had money at the time, I would have got it, but I was broke. I think I was still in high school actually.
Yeah. High school will do that to you.
Yeah. Especially when you can't get a job. Anyways, there's Plex. They might have ad-supported stuff. That'd be kind of cool.
Yep.
I'm excited for it.
Oh, that might be Plex Pass with Tidal. That's with their music.
Oh, yeah, the title. Yeah. I forgot about that.
So there's music, too. So there may be,
And because-
subscription groupings.
Yeah.
Thing. So you have Premium, or you have Plex Pass, and then you have Plex Pass plus these things.
Yeah, that was another thing I was going to talk about. So because they did the title thing, it allowed them, like they had to do a lot of back-end work to support like subscription-based model stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So now like all the groundwork's there. All they have to do is just pass in the content and they're good. So it doesn't sound like it's going to take them that much to do that. But yeah, Tidal I guess is $8.99 a month. And I've never heard of Tidal.
I've never heard of Tidal either. It's spelled Tidal.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, so and actually that's how they're going to deal with their movies and TV shows. So yeah, there are options.
Yeah.
And also with that, it's not going to be terrible. Actually, what is this? Oh yeah, the subscription. New customers Tidal can sign up for a combo Tidal plus Plex Pass subscription for $10 a month or $20 if you have a Tidal Hi-Fi. Normally,
If
Plex
you want Tidal
Pass
Hi-Fi.
is $333 if paid annually.
I'm going to guess Tidal Hi-Fi is
HD.
higher quality music, yeah. Like high fidelity.
Oh. Yep. Look at that.
Level up your music.
You have all this stuff.
I don't know. I might give this a shot.
You get 30 days for free, peoples. There's so much more.
We do not have an affiliate link.
No.
You should look for one. I don't think there's a way to get that on here.
Yeah, there's a thing. Yeah, support us on Patreon. Geeks Are Wired. Or no, patreon.com/Geeks Are Wired. There you go.
Okay.
See, that's how you support us. We'll give you the link.
Yeah.
Come support us. With that, we've eaten up the time. We've done a good job.
Want to talk about the little thing that might take 2 minutes or one?
All right.
Okay.
Because you were so interested in this. It's all you.
So I've been looking at getting a motorcycle recently, and I'm not going to get this one, but
I was gonna say,
it intrigued me.
this is not a motorcycle.
So-
this is a scooter that looks cool.
No, it's a motorcycle.
I don't care. I don't care if it says Harley
It
Davidson
does
on it.
0 to 60 in like 3 seconds.
It's a scooter
It's a motorcycle.
that looks cool.
Anyways,
Cooler.
it's a Harley Davidson's like first all-electric motorcycle, and it's not cheap. It lists at $29,799.
You should get a Tesla then.
Yeah,
Teslas are like
it's
10,000.
significantly more than the other motorcycles on the market that are electric, because the Zero, which is another electronic motorcycle, which
Like
is called the
Tesla.
Tesla of motorcycles.
Yeah.
It's not Tesla though.
Oh.
It
Oh,
sells its
it's called
Zero
the Tesla.
S model starting at just under 11,000, and its longer Zero SR, longer range one for 17,000. So you're not getting like the nice nameplate on the motorcycle, but you're also saving like $20,000.
If I'm spending that much, then it better actually like drive itself. If it's gonna be considered a Tesla.
So the Harley Davidson one will sprint from 0 to 60 in under 3.5 seconds. And it doesn't have a clutch or gear shifting.
Well, it does, because it's an electric.
And Harley says it'll travel 110 city miles on a single charge. But they don't say how that translates to highway. The original prototype went 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds and had a range of 55 miles in economy mode. So they've upped the range quite a bit since the prototype.
So that's something else. They've doubled it, basically.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. I maybe it's because I live in the middle of nowhere country, part of the country or whatever. Like, I could drive for literally a day and just drive.
In your car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I have.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun last year. Drove across country, saw the country. I almost said saw the world. Saw parts of the world.
No. The world is the USA. Come on.
Oh.
That was a joke, guys. I'm sorry, other non-US people.
Saw parts of the world.
Yeah, you saw a small portion of the world.
Yes. It all basically looked the same with lots of fields.
No, there was a lot of corn. There's not that much corn here.
There was a lot of corn. It made me...
And substantially less potatoes.
Corn.
Corn for days. Yeah, anyways, I just wanted to...
And toll roads. I hate toll roads. The guy mentioned that. I hate toll roads.
Yeah.
They're stupid.
I wouldn't... if you're thinking about this being your first bike, I probably wouldn't do that because since it goes from 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds, you would probably kill yourself your first go on it. No,
just be ready. You hold on to it and you lean forward. You don't just like crank on it and hope for the best. Otherwise, you pop a wheelie and crack your tailbone.
So this is like a two-stroke on steroids. Two-stroke engine. Two strokes.
It's a scooter that looks cool.
It's not a scooter, Bill. It's not a scooter. Anyways, yeah, I don't know how much they'll sell of these. They'll probably be pretty popular because it's Harley, but
we don't know.
They're trying to get a new... Huh?
You said you don't know how. They'll sell it for 30.
I know.
Oh, but where?
Huh?
Where they're selling it?
No, I don't know. I said I don't know how popular this will be.
Oh. It'll be a thing.
Well, it'll be a thing,
That's just the starting price, so it could be more than that. I'm not sure how much more.
Yeah, I don't know either. Is this the Zero one? Yeah, this is the Zero.
It literally calls itself a scooter, by the way.
Yeah, the Zero, yeah. Because it is kind of a scooter. Like, if you look at the way it looks, it's a scooter.
They don't even have, like, a good side picture of it.
Yeah, they do.
Well, I guess they
got a whole album built.
Oh, look at that.
It's a scooter.
It kind of looks like a small dirt bike. Actually, it looks more like a
It looks like an adventure bike, which is a cross between a dirt bike and a street bike, by the way.
Looks more like a bike than the Harley, which looks like it actually wants to destroy you.
All right, maybe that does kind of look like a scooter.
It's a cool scooter, I'll admit that.
It's a $30,000 scooter.
Gets 0 miles per gallon.
Yeah, because it doesn't have gasoline.
Okay, this is your famous last words.
Why do they have soundproofing on the back of that? Anyways, probably don't get that bike if you're thinking about getting an electric bike. Get the Zero.
Bill, I think you should get a fold-up TV.
0 miles per gallon.